Indianapolis Fire Department. He has been involved with fights for the MMA, the Mixed Martial Arts, and the UFC Ultimate Fighting Champion. It is my pleasure to introduce to you author of the book Lights Out on Bullying, MMA fighter, UFC fighter, and guest speaker for today, Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Okay, how everybody doing today? All right. You guys like the video there? All right. You guys at the school, your high school, I guess, made that. So maybe you guys, for that grade, you can start doing that type of thing if you want. I thought it was really neat, and I appreciate you for doing it. Okay. You know, it's funny. You know, whenever people think of me, it seems like that's what they think of right there. They think of me fighting in the UFC. They think of me punching people. They don't really know the full story. They don't know I'm a fireman. I've been on the fire department now in Indianapolis for almost 14 years. I've been a father. I have 4 kids. My oldest one's 19, so you know, I have a lot more going on in my life than just the fighting aspect. But it's funny because when people think of me, that's all they know. They know that I like to go out there. I like to hit people. I like to get hit. I don't like to get hit, so it happens. That happens. The funny thing is, though, when I start talking to people about bullying, most people think, what would I know about bullying besides maybe I am the bully? They think that I'm the guy who tries to get what I want the whole time by being mean, by intimidating people. You guys know what bullying is, don't you? Who knows what it is? What do you got? What do you think it is to bully somebody? What does bullying mean to you? There you go, put people down to 100. What else we got? Go ahead. So people are doing something to you like that. That's right, that's right. You gotta know, I'm just letting you guys know, bullying is very being intimidating people, being mean to people, trying to hurt other people's feelings, trying to get what you want. A lot of people think they see my fight video, they think that that's what I would do. I would intimidate people. I would tell people what to do to get what I want. Only though because people don't know me, they don't know my story, they don't know my background. For example, when I was young, I was probably the smallest guy in my grade, in my class. I was the smallest guy. You guys, I don't know if you guys know anything about high school wrestling. Anybody do any wrestling here? Okay, in wrestling, when I was a high school wrestler, my first year I wrestled 103. That was the lightest weight class. I was the littlest guy on the team. I was the littlest guy on the team. In addition to that, when I was growing up, where I lived, I didn't live in a big neighborhood. You guys live in big neighborhoods, have a lot of people around you. I did not. I lived on a street. It was a dead-end street. There wasn't a lot of people there. So the people who I got to spend time with, the people who were my friends, were older than me. I was in, let's say I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. If I was in 3rd grade, they would have been in 6th grade. They were 3 years older than me. So when you're hanging out with older kids and you're already small for your grade, you're by far the smallest kid. So when I was the smallest kid and hanging out with those guys, and we played football, we played basketball, we played whatever, a lot of the time, if somebody was going to get beat up, it was going to be me. They enjoyed beating up on me. They enjoyed picking on me. And it didn't help that I was pretty good at sports, so if I did good at football, they definitely wanted to hurt me then. So, the thing that helped me though is I didn't have any other friends to hang out with, so I wanted to play with those kids so bad. I wanted to be part of that group so bad that no matter what they did to hurt me physically or mentally, say whatever, I always came back to play. I always came back the next day. So they eventually got to respect me, they liked me, and they would let me continue to spend time with them. And what I always remember growing up, and I still remember this to this day, some days a new guy would come over, one of their friends, one of their 6th grade or 7th grade friends would come over to play football with us. And if I would do something good, and he would start to try and do something to me, you know, he might get mad, he might try to push me down, he might try to hit me, he might try to do something to me. And I always remember But the kids who I was friends with at that time, they would stand up for me. They would not let the other guy, bully me, hurt me, or anything like that. Now, I always remember thinking as a kid, I was in 3rd grade, and I remember thinking, man, I got this kid in 6th grade, and he's going to stand up for me. I didn't understand. I was like, why would this big kid, he's standing up to another kid in his grade, for a little kid like me? I'm just this little guy, and those guys were so big to me. They were so cool. They were what I wanted to be like. And this guy's going to stand up to his friend or someone like me? Why would he do that? I didn't understand it, but I know when he did that, when they would do that, it would give me confidence. They make me feel good about myself. It made me feel like I could do good things and I belonged to them. That was always the thing that I remember. But then I remember I grow up a little bit, I continue to get older. I told you guys, I got to high school, I wrestled 103, that was a light thing. I kept getting bigger, kept wrestling. And I remember from wrestling, spent time with one of my best friends from the wrestling team. He was the president of our class. I don't know if you know what that means, the president of the class. You elect whoever you want to be in charge of the class. So this guy was very popular. Everybody liked my friend. He was a great guy. And the neat thing about him was, you could go anywhere. You could go into any classroom in that school. You could go into any place, and he was friends with everybody. And the reason he was friends with everybody was he didn't care what you looked like, he didn't care what kind of clothes you had on, he didn't care who your parents were, he treated everybody good. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people try and judge people, didn't like your shoes, I'm not going to making fun of the way your hair is, whatever. Making fun of different things. My friend treated everybody the same, no matter what. Which is the reason everybody elected him to be the class president. And I know, I always thought that I wanted to spend time with this guy because he was a good person. He made me feel good about me. And everybody else liked this guy as well. So these things are things that kind of help shape me to become the kind of person I want to be. And how to help people when I was little, people stood up for me and he wanted to stand up for people. People always treat people the right way. And when I got older, it was the same thing here. So since then, it's funny, I thought when you got older, all that stuff would end. People would be nice to everybody. That's not the case necessarily. I've been on the fire department before when I've seen we have a new guy come in. And let's say it's your job to clean something today. It's your job, it's your job to watch the fire engine or something. You're a new guy, and this older guy's been there for 10 years, starts telling you to do his job and his job. I've seen that stuff happen. So I always feel like it's my job to come up and say, no, you're not making him do your job because he's a new guy. You're going to do your own work. Little things like that. Same thing when I do with the UFC. A lot of the guys will try and intimidate the new guys. They didn't want them to do well. If you go there, you have a lot on your head already, and if you don't perform well, they're probably going to kick you out now when you come back to the UFC. So people want that. People want the new guys to not do well. I always felt like it was my job to help them out. Hey, this is where you need to go. This is how you need to act. This is what you want to do. Because that's the way I believe you should do it, because of things that happened to me when I grew up. So, now, what made me go from acting like this, I'm talking about trying to help people, what made me change from doing that to actually coming out and want to speak about bullying incidents is I have to say that's my family. Now, I don't remember if you said how many kids I have. I have 4 kids right now. My youngest son, his name's Jake, and he has autism. So does anybody know what that is? You ever heard of autism? Raise your hand if you know that. Okay, a few of you guys do. There you go. So what autism is, it's something that makes Jake act different. It makes him act a little strange. Some people think he acts a little strange. And I understand that. So it's always been a fear of mine that people are going to pick on him, bully him, make him feel bad about the way he is. And the bad thing is, there's nothing Jake can do about that. That's not Jake's fault. It really makes me think about how that's if it's not his fault, it's nothing that we should be able to do something for. They remind me that people will make fun of you because of the color of your hair, or because of just something you can't control? What if it was something like, what if you got hungry and when you went to school, everybody started making fun of you because you were hungry? You're like, I can't help it. That's just something that happens to me if I don't eat. I get hungry. Yeah, that's what can happen. They make fun of you and they're like, there's nothing I can do about it. Have you guys ever heard of a guy named Ryan White? Anybody? Okay, we got some of you guys. I know you guys were talking about that in school, Ryan White. He was a little boy who was from Indiana. And he had a sickness where he would bleed a lot. And sometimes he had to have blood transfusions where they help him out give him more blood. And through that, he had HIV. He got HIV from getting a blood transfusion. And the people at school would make fun of him. They didn't want to go to school with him. They would call him names. He got to transfer to school. It was a horrible thing because this boy had no control over it. He couldn't help that. He couldn't help if he had a sickness and he had to get more blood. And somebody gave blood with HIV in it. I thought it was really unfair for them to try and make fun of this poor boy and make his life terrible. The thing is, not only is it things that you can control, but a lot of times there's nothing you can do about the way you're brought up and the things, how you act. For example, I work on the fire department. I can know many times when I've been in people's houses where I know the kids aren't being fed, kids aren't getting taken care of, the parents are physically abusing their kids, and you expect this kid to come to school after all that and act normal? It's impossible. So this kid might be treated badly at home by the people who are supposed to love him the most. He comes to school and he's not feeling good, and then people are making fun of him for how he's looking or how he's acting. Yeah, that's just so unfair in any way. So I wish I could come here and talk to you guys, and you could all understand what I'm saying, and I believe that nobody would be mean to anybody. Everybody would be nice to each other, but I know that's not really going to happen. So, unfortunately, last year there were, I think, 9,396 cases of bullying that were reported in the state of Indiana, and that's in all the schools. So that's about 52 cases every day that were reported. And that's just the ones that people talk about. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. I bet the real number was 10 times as high as that. So I know we're not going to be able to talk about this and stop it. So I would like to talk to you guys for a couple seconds about things that we can do if people are being bullied. The first thing I think is for you to kind of try and fight back. Now fight back, I don't mean necessarily physically. I don't mean to start punching people if you feel bad. But like when I was a kid, remember when people would, they continue every day, they would try and hit me, they would try and hurt me, they would try and say mean things to me. But what I do the very next day, I was right back there ready to play again. I continue to keep coming back. I eventually earned their respect that way. Got those guys who are like, we can do whatever this guy, he's going to keep coming back to me, and they lost interest in trying to hurt me, and they like what I do. That's one thing you can do. Now, I'm not going to recommend you do that if there's 5 guys trying to punch you in the face every day. You can't just keep coming back and taking it. That's a bad idea. So sometimes you might have to tell somebody. Now, when I say tell somebody, you can tell a teacher, you can tell a parent, and if you don't want to do that, I just think you might not feel like it's had a thing, you might not want to do that. You can tell some friends. You can say, hey, this guy is going to be outside of my class today, I guarantee it. Stay with me, and then you can have strength and numbers. You can do things like that. Another thing, the thing that I really want to see you guys do, and I'm trying to tell everybody to do, and the thing that was in my book, the thing that the guy did there, is what I really want you guys to do is to stand up for each other. So what I'd like to see, let's say this guy right here, let's say he's being mean to this kid. You would do that, I know. But what I want you to step up and stop this from happening. That's the only way this thing's going to work. So if there's people, I think it's everybody here's job to stand up for other people in your class. The reason I think you guys should do this is you will make yourself feel better about yourself. I've been on the fire department for many years. I've been on for almost 14. Now you saw my highlight video, right? And I've been in the cage before, and there's been, 10, 15,000 people chant my name. And they've been cheering for me when I win. And that's a great feeling, let me tell you. When you get in there to be a professional athlete, that's a really good feeling. But I don't think it's nearly as good of a feeling as it is when I've been on the fire department and I've helped somebody. When I've helped somebody's life, I've made a difference. That's a better feeling than fighting in the octagon. It really is. And you guys can all get that thing. So I'm trying to tell you that. Now, you guys may not even understand it. You guys can affect how other people's lives are going to end up. By the things you do right now. You guys, like when I was a kid, when I was little, I was in 3rd grade. These people who would stand up for me, you know, it made me think that I could do whatever. It gave me confidence. It made me think that I was worth something, I had value. It gave me confidence to think I could be a great athlete. If they had done that, maybe I wouldn't have ever fought the UFC. Maybe I would have been doing something else. Maybe I just thought, well, I'm not good enough to do that. But these guys, you know, they stood up for me. That made me think there was something good about me. Why would they stand up for me? So you guys can have that effect on people too. You can have a very positive effect. Maybe there's somebody here who could go out and cure cancer in the future. You don't know. If they're motivated the right way, if they believe they can do stuff. I don't know. I'm sure none of you guys have heard of, has anybody ever heard of the guy called the Unabomber here? Anybody? Yeah? Come on. Really? Okay. Guy named Ted Kaczynski. He was a genius. He was a real smart guy. He had an IQ of 167, which is really high. And what happened to this guy? He was so smart, they moved him ahead of in classes. They moved him up to different grades. Well, he felt weird, like he didn't fit in. He was a lot younger than everybody else. Everybody was mean to him. I read his biography. They said everybody picked on him. He got bullied. It said that he was bullied constantly. So this guy's a genius. He goes to MIT, one of the toughest schools in the world. And what did he do afterwards? Did he go out and did he create stuff that can help mankind? Did he make some good innovations in science? No. This guy, he moved into the woods, moved into a cabin, and he built little bombs. And he would mail them to people. And they open them and they blow up and they kill them. Why did he do that? Probably because his whole life, his whole way he was treated was negative. He didn't like the way he felt about himself. He didn't like the way he felt about other people either. So, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you guys could be able to affect other people's lives, there's 2 ways it can go. You can affect them negatively. Maybe they can be trying to blow people up, or you can affect people positively. And they can do good things with their life. Once again, maybe if those guys who I was dealing with, maybe if nobody stood up for me, and I didn't feel good about myself, maybe I would have been in the woods trying to blow people up. And once again, I don't have 167 IQ, so the bomb probably wouldn't have worked. But it might have, I don't know. So what I'm trying to hope you guys, I can let you guys know is how good it feels, like I was saying earlier. When I'm on TV and I'm in the ring, it feels great. But I feel much better when I'm in the fire department and I can do something to help somebody else. I feel like I'm a hero. And I think you guys right here today can all feel like heroes as well if you help other people out. And I think the best way you can help people is by standing up for them. When that people stood up for me, it made me feel like I can do anything. And I know Lord did the same for you guys as well here. So I know people at this school. I talk to people at this school. I would like to challenge everybody here today. The next time you see somebody being picked on or somebody being bullied, I would like for you guys, somebody better step up and do something about it. Whether that's tell a teacher, whether that's step in and say that's enough, whether that's stand up for the person, somebody needs to step up and do something. I'm going to be following up on this and talking to teachers and finding out if it's happening. I would like to see that you guys are doing something. So once again, just to recap here, I want you guys to all feel good about yourselves, and you can do that by helping other people. Stepping up for somebody else will be the best thing you can do. So what I'd like to do now is find out if there's any questions about bullying, fire department, UFC, anything like that. Anything you guys would like to hear about, please let me know. What you got, bud? He was asking about the fire department aspect. Do we rescue people in the house? Of course, that's our job. If we go to a fire and there's people in it, that's our job. We have fire people, we go in there. We have two different jobs. You have the engine job, and you have the ladder job. If you're on an engine piece of apparatus, you go in there and your job is to put out the fire as soon as possible. If you're on the ladder, you're supposed to go in there and search for victims. So we all have our jobs because what they tell me, if I'm on the engine, the quicker I put the fire out, the better. That's going to be the best thing I can do to save as many people by putting the fire out. The ladder guy's job is going there and search for victims to pull them out as soon as we can. So I know when I go there, I have a job and I know what I'm supposed to do. And it only works if everybody takes care of their own job. How many fights have I won in the UFC? That's a good question. I fought in the UFC for an awful long time. I think I won 10 fights in there. One thing I was pretty good at though, for a while, I used to be the record holder for the number of like fight of the night knockout nights. I'd won 10 of those. I won 6 fight of the nights, 3 submission of the nights, and 1 knockout of the night. So I was a record holder for a long time. Yes, sir. I've saved a lot of people in the fire department. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in a few things where people's lives were saved. Sometimes it just depends on where you're at and what's going on and what the situation is. You know, unfortunately, you know, for me, sometimes you're not in the right situation where you can't get in there and save them. Sometimes it's too late. All you can do is go in there and try the best you can. And sometimes you get there too late. You know, that's our job, is to be there, waiting on the station at all times. We're not allowed to leave. And as soon as the run comes out, as soon as the fire comes out, we're there. And we also go on not just fires, we go on car accidents, we go on people fall, get hurt, people have heart attacks, we go on everything like that. We always, anything we can do to help people, we try and show up. If I ever played any other sports? Yes, when I was a kid, I played all kinds of sports, man. That was, like I was talking about when I was playing with all the older kids, that's what we do. We played football every day. We played basketball every day. Man, we didn't have all the video games. We didn't do too much besides play outside. So we were playing sports non-stop. So in high school, man, I remember middle school, I played, I was in football, wrestling, basketball, and track. I did 4 sports, I think. I never would have put the fires up. That's funny. People used to always ask me that. They'd be like, man, you know, you're fighting in the UFC, you're doing all this. When are you going to quit? When are you going to quit the fire department? When are you ready to quit? You know, you can make a lot more money doing this. And I always told people, man, I never wake up and don't want to go to work. I mean, you don't. I always ask people, like, well, why would you do that? I was like, have you ever helped somebody? Have you ever helped somebody in a fire? Have you ever went into a fire and helped somebody? They're like, no. Well, have you ever had somebody who was laying on the ground dead and you helped him get back to life? Like, no. Have you ever had a kid fall in a swimming pool and you helped them get back to life? They're like, no. And I said, well, I have, but I'm not going to give that up for anything. It makes me feel good about myself every day. So that's why I'm never going to quit that. He asked me if I like to talk trash in my press conference to get people mad. You know what? You know, a lot of people do that, but you know, to me, I never like to do that because I always felt like, you know, no matter what I say, no matter what I act like, and no matter how tough I act in the press conference, I know it's about 2 days from now, I got to get in the ring and back up everything I just said. And that puts a little more pressure on me. So I used to try to go out there and be respectful as I could and just let the guy know. And I'd always think, it's on. We got 2 days and this is on. I think that would intimidate them a little bit more than you can. I always felt like if somebody's telling you what they're going to do, they're trying to talk themselves into it. Like they're really nervous. I just didn't want to be nice, calm, and cool. And that would make the guy more nervous than anything. did I have any rivals in the UFC? I don't know, man. It seemed like, I don't know. Maybe the guy I fought in the season finale. I fought this guy twice. His name was Matt Sarah. I fought him in the finale when I was on the reality show. And he won the first time. He won a split decision. And whoever won that fight got a title fight. And he knocked out the champion. He became the champion. So I get to fight him later on, and I beat him after that. Do I train my kids? Do I train my kids in fighting? You know, what's funny is I decided that I wanted my kids to do their own sport because I didn't want them to feel like they had to live up to anything I had done. And to be honest with you, I mean, I have a lot of problems now, back problems, sleep problems. I don't want my kids to have a bunch of problems, so I'm trying to get them to do smart things, not be like their dad and have all kinds of scars on their head and messed up ears. People always look at my ears. What's wrong with that guy? So I'm trying to keep them from having ugly ears. Wow, she's asking me how many squads it would take to put out a big wildfire. And the answer to that is, it just depends on how big it is. I mean, there's stuff going on right now. There's always things going on in Colorado and California. And it just depends how big it is. It could take forever. It could take a ton of different people. It just depends on the size of it and what kind of terrain you're in and just different resources. It could be a lot of different things. It's hard to answer that now. So, what else we got here? Why did I decide to become a firefighter? I decided to become a firefighter for a lot of the stuff we just talked about. I realized that I wanted to make myself feel good about myself. And the reason I wanted to do that was because of things that happened to me in my past. I realized that when other people did things for me, like I said, that those kids used to stand up for me, I looked at those guys as heroes, man, and I still do. I still think it's in it. And this guy did something so good for me, it made me feel good about myself, that made me want to do that. Like some people, when they get bullied, they want to bully somebody else. I remember how bad that made me feel, and I remember how good it made me feel when other people did things for me. That's what I want to think. I always want to be like that. I want to be the guy that other people look up to. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. You guys can beat the guy who is looked up to. And that's what I'm trying to have you guys do. Stand up for somebody else, and you will be looked up to. I told her, oh man, if I had heavyweight, not at all. I'm still pretty one of the lightest fighters. They got a lot of weight classes now. I used to fight at the 170-pound weight class. They have 125, 135, 45, 55, 70, 85, 205, heavyweight. So I'm kind of in the middle right there. So, you gonna pick your fifth? You know what? I'm retired now, man. I'm retired, so I'm no longer fighting. One thing that I was really busy. People don't really understand how much time that takes to become a fighter. I was trying to be a fighter. I was trying to work on the fire department. I was trying to do stuff with my family. The thing I realized after a while was the thing that was dominating most of my time was the fighting. That's all I did was spend time at the gym. I spent time away from the fights and doing appearances. And I realized I was really dropping the ball on the family aspect. And I felt like that was definitely more important to be at home for a while than to be out trying to have some fun for myself. Hey, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. And I hope you guys will actually take it to heart. And I want you guys to think about it. I want you guys to feel good about yourself by helping other people. So thank you.